What if I told you that there was a black box that had every single game you ever played as a child all in one place, all set up for you, plug and play, everything from Atari to the Nintendo Switch, everything in between, all the PlayStations, all the Sega Genesis, everything else, retro gaming, your entire retro gaming life, decades of games. And then they're like, okay, well, how about also we include those arcade games, those Neo Geo games, those games you might have found at the pizzeria or local mini golf course. And oh yeah, let's throw in some more modern games as well, what you might find at like a Dave and Buster's or something like that. You know, Super Mario Kart GP, some Star Wars Battle Pod, some Street Fighter 5, some Raiden 4 and 5, and everything else in between. And oh, you know what? That might not be enough. Let's go ahead and throw in some AAA rated games as well. In case you get bored with retro stuff, yeah, we'll just throw some of that in there as well. And then that's where you would be with this hard drive here, coming out of China, selling on Amazon and all over the place. And you literally just plug and play, and all those games are available to you. A lot of people say, can I just plug this into my TV? Unfortunately, you do need a laptop or a computer of some sort, like an i5 processor. So not a huge, crazy computer, but for what you're getting, this is what China does best, right? Everything from, this thing has everything, as we're seeing here on your screen. But as China does best, they take something, they make it in mass quantities as cheaply as possible, and then they're able to get the price to some ridiculously low price. That being said, is it perfect? Is it the perfect black box device, retro gaming console out there? No, but it is one of the best budget retro gaming consoles on the market today. And in the description below, you'll see an entire game list. You're like, does this thing really have all these games? And you're in luck, because there's a Google spreadsheet that this company has compiled on every single game that is included on this build. There'll be a link in the description if you want to see that. I was kind of curious myself. And it's separated out by console, so you can literally go by every single console and see every single game that is included on this build. So on your screen, we had just gone through some of the Nintendo systems. There's way more than that. Moving on over to Sega Saturn, one of my favorite systems, because also to emulate, because it's such an expensive system to collect. But you're also going to have your Sega Dreamcast. It has Naomi. It's going to have PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. There's a couple PlayStation 3 games. This new revised version has a lot more Nintendo Switch games and some extra PSP games. So this is not the first version of this hard drive out there. There are some older versions out there. I'll make sure that I'm linking to the newer version. And this one is just crazy. You'll notice as well, there's a lot of collections. So if there's just light gun, you just want to play light gun games. I know a lot of people that love light gun games. You could just play those. Here are those PC games that are included as well. And here's where things get interesting, because a lot of these hard drives that you find, they usually only have like the consoles. This one not only has the consoles, it has the arcade games, and it has the Techno Parrot arcade games, and Taito, and all the other harder to emulate and harder to set up stuff. So it really kind of makes this one pretty comprehensive. It's pretty wild how much it has on it. U-Green is just the hard drive enclosure. You open it up, and there is a 12 terabyte Seagate in there, and then you just got to do power and USB to your computer. So they do have this Google Doc. I'll put us a link into it in the description of the video, and it gives you all the games list. And on the bottom of the sheet there, you'll even see the different Spice systems. But you can see here over 45,000 games. You see, I'm just zoomed in to show you. If you scroll down on the spreadsheet on the different tabs, it has the individual systems and the games per system. So like Nintendo Switch, etc., etc. In case you're curious, you can just go ahead and check out that sheet. So when you first put this in your computer, you're going to have the Super Game hard drive. Here's what it looks like. They have a little README file here where all the games are. There's the helps. There's an installation. I didn't have to install any of that stuff. But there's the install files that you want to do those first. Mine were already installed on this computer. And there's some other little technical things and backups for you. But where you actually want to go is go to core type R and just double click this core, and then it's going to open up core type R where all the different front ends will live, and you can go from there. Okay, so when it comes to gaming performance, here you go. This is a Techno Parrot game. It's a Contra game. You can see they revised the graphics. A lot of fun. I'm using an Xbox 360 controller. This whole console and everything about it can be controlled with the Xbox 360 controller. You will need a keyboard and a mouse, to boot up your computer and load the system. So here we have Dead or Alive 6 on Techno Parrot. Running great, a lot of fun. It's all in free play, so you don't have to waste all those tokens you probably wasted on this game in the past. It just lets you play as you go. Graphics are great. You can run full screen mode or windowed mode. Here we go. We've got a light gun game. I'm playing with a controller right now. You can use the analog sticks, but if you have a light gun, you can use not only your mouse as a light gun, if you want, it's not as cool, or you could do any of the, Gun IR or Sinden light guns on this build. And, some of these newer light gun games are so much fun, like this game or Transformers, or there's a bunch more for Techno Parrot, especially on this build. Here we got Raiden, and it is running great. Fun game. I used to love trying out the different bullets. You got the red, the purple, the blue, and again, running really well. So the reason I made this video is I've seen this hard drive get a lot of videos made about it lately, and I've have a whole nether video as far as there are some fixes to be done to this hard drive if you want to get, for example, the future pinball working. But really quick to conclude, there's not a more build-up drive for the price point with as many games on it. Now, if you only want a retro game, you're like, I don't need any of those AAA games. I don't play Techno Parrot. I don't need that. There's some smaller builds out there. There's a 5 terabyte build where you can save some money and get something like that. And it's totally available to you. I've done videos on many of those. But I wanted to revisit this one, especially, a couple months after owning it, just to see, nothing really has come out yet that's literally as good. There are other companies that sell way more squared away, all ready to go, and they're not Chinese sellers. They are out there, but you are going to pay 2 to 3, 4 times more, because that's what everyone asks me. What's the best gaming black box out there? And there's definitely some good ones out there, but as far as the budget, I always like to highlight that, because I think a lot of people are doing emulation because it is so expensive to actually buy the physical games, especially these retro games, as they become more and more, rare to find. People spill water on them, or they lose them, or they can deteriorate over time, especially if they're going under heavy use. And our moms keep throwing out all of our stuff, and we might have put it in that wrong storage container, and it got thrown out. But this is one of the best budget ones out there. The biggest comments on all these videos are, this is a scam, I'm gonna get 100 million viruses, whatever, you name it, fear-mongering, this is blah, 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 blah. For sure, if you're concerned at all, just pass on this. Not only pass on this, but a lot of people also make a good point that you can build your own emulation build, right? From scratch, go on the internet, search for a front end like Launchbox or Emulation Station, install RetroArch, and just get going and rocking and rolling. Absolutely, go for it. I think that's a great plan. But for those of you that just want this black box that comes with everything already ready to go, you can put it in a secondary computer that's not connected to the internet, and you can just be gaming for the rest of your life, basically, and having a blast. So I just want to highlight this one again, because not only, remember, it's got the consoles, it's got the handhelds, it's got the arcades, Techno Parrot, and PC games on top of that. It's kind of ridiculous for those reasons. But anyways, that's what I think. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.